can start now. Yeah, first of all, welcome to our webinar, Your Project Lifecycle Simplified. And a big thanks to everyone for attending. It's nice to see all of you again. And before anything else, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Kevin Lim. I am the Customer Success Specialist in charge of providing support and training to our users. I also have here my colleague, James, who's happy to answer any questions you may have via the chat. So today's webinar is all about managing and your projects effortlessly with MeasureSquare CRM. We'll walk you through how this powerful tool is designed to centralize and streamline your entire project workflow, from project creation and proposal generation to scheduling and performance tracking. By the end of today's session, you'll see how MeasureSquare CRM simplifies every step of your project lifecycle. Here's our agenda for today. We will kick things off with a full demo of the CRM, and we'll start by showing you how to set up your projects in MeasureSquare CRM. So helps you keep everything organized and ready to go. Next, we'll walk you through importing diagrams and your products directly from MeasureSquare estimating software. So no manual entry is needed. We'll also cover how to send price requests to vendors quickly and efficiently with just a few clicks. Then we'll show you how to create polished professional proposals that can help you win bids faster. And you'll learn how to generate purchase orders and work orders seamlessly, all in just one place. Then we'll dive into managing installations, keeping your schedules and tasks on track. Afterwards, we'll go over how to create professional invoices directly from your approved proposals. Then finally, we'll explore how to access your analytics in MeasureSquare CRM to track performance, monitor your revenue, and gain actionable insights for your business. All right, so before we begin with the demo, I believe we've already asked you another poll question and what your level of experience is with CRM. Okay, all right. So now I'm sharing my screen and you see the CRM homepage. So this screen may seem familiar to some of you, but for those that are still new, this is our project pipeline page that shows all of the different leads and projects that my company is working with. So you can see each of these cards represent one project, and the columns over here, these represent a stage of your project. So these are all configurable on your settings. And if I want to move a project from this view, I can just simply select one, hold my left mouse key, and just drag it to a stage as it progresses along like that. And this is currently the Kanban view of your projects. But if you want to see a list view, you can just select this list view option over here, and you'll see all your projects organized in like a table format, and easier for you to sort them or filter them by different categories, such as filtering them by a certain pipeline, filtering them by stage. You can see who the owners are for each specific project, and also filter them out by different dates, such as your creation date, start date, and closing date. So let me go back to our homepage, and we can start creating a new project. So it's going to be on this side over here. So once I select that, I can now fill in some of the project's basic information. So you notice that the red asterisks here are mandatory fields. So let me create a sample project. Let me just place it in the pipeline. Okay, I already have a pipeline in the stage. I can select my companies and contacts. Let me try this one. Yep. So I already have my contacts filled in, and you also have the option to add a new contact every time you start a new project via this option here. Same goes for your companies. So I can put in my relevant products, such as let's just say put carpet. We can put tile. Fill in other like your other information, such as your job site. And when I click on save, it will bring me to this project overview screen. So this area houses every single piece of information relevant to our project. So you see here all the contacts that we've added. We can add more contacts and companies here. And you see all those project information we filled out earlier. And you can just fill this along the way. And all of these options here are fully customizable. So that's for our overview. And if we go to here, we have other tabs related to our project. You can see on top, we have this represents all the stages we have on the project. So as the project moves along each stage, you can just select or left click which stage that project is now on. And let's move over to the other sections of our project. So we have the project summary tab. So it's a high level overview of showing your total income, your costs, profit, and also organizes all your documents in one place, such as all your proposals, all your purchase orders, and your work orders. Next up is our notes section, and you can add or review internal notes related to your team. So we can even notify our teammates using the @ symbol. And once I save this will notify my teammate Austin and he'll receive an email. I can also pin notes. So if I have any pressing or relevant information for this project, I can just pin that note so that my team members can just check it anytime. Next up is our dashboard section. Here you can monitor your project metrics. It gives you a quick number summary and gets filled up once we progress through the project. So you see your invoices here, how much your accounts receivable and payables are. If you have any overdue tasks, you will see them here. And if you do use change orders, they are all organized in this area. Next up is our products. So this is where you can manage materials and products once we add a takeoff. Next is our emails. So here you can track all your outgoing and incoming emails from your clients, vendors, and installers. So the task section is pretty self-explanatory, but here you can create tasks and assign it to your teammates. So what's cool about this is it integrates directly with your calendar. And so if I create a task, it will be added to my Google or Outlook calendar. Okay. Next is our photos. Here you can store all your site photos and even add photos, import photos from your diagram as well. In our files section is a file storage system where you can create folders to organize your files. And lastly, we have this SOV or schedule of values. So we can go over this in a different time, but you can use this for monthly progress payment building. So that's it for our project screen page. And we can now proceed with our CRM workflow of importing our diagrams, creating our documents, and getting paid. So the thing we have to do is associate our takeoff diagram with the CRM project. So if you see on the top right side, we have our diagram section. And if I select add, I can either start a new diagram from scratch. I can add any existing diagrams from my MeasureSquare cloud, or I can upload a local file. So we would generally recommend adding your diagrams from MeasureSquare cloud. So once I select that, Let me just add this sample project or diagram to my project, and it will open up this window where you want to import your products from your diagram. So let's select OK. Here, it will bring in all the products from my takeoff from MeasureSquare estimating software and bring it to the CRM. So let me select all of these and select OK. And we'll go back to our products section. And you see all our products from our project are now populated here. So you can now see all the quantities, our pricing, all from our takeoff. You can also modify the pricing here and even the vendors and quantities as needed. So next up, we'll discuss on how to send out a price request. So if I select a product over here, I can now send a price request easily. But as you know, price requests are typically sent out by vendor. So it would be easier if we filter all our products by vendor. Let me select my products from, let's say, a Milliken vendor. So once I've selected them and I select price request, it will bring me to this email creation screen where I can now send out this price request. It will automatically pull in my vendor's email, and this email has all the data I need to get the pricing from my vendor. So this email template you can also customize to match it to your organization's format. And once I send that email out, price request email will then be tracked in the email section of your project. So over here, there you go. And once they reply with the pricing, you'll also be able to see it on this section here. So we've now associated our takeoff with the project and we've requested pricing. And once we do have our pricing, we can now create our proposal. So if you see on the right side, we have two types of proposals. We have a quotes and we have bids. So the quote is a simpler, more basic proposal, while the bid is a more advanced and robust proposal meant for competitive bidding scenarios. So for our workflow, we would ideally want to start from our diagram. So we select our diagram over here, give it a few seconds to load, and you can see a preview of our takeoff. And it is actually an interactive screen. So you can just zoom into your takeoff, select some of the rooms. And if I select some of the rooms here, I can see the products associated to that room. Okay, so let me just exit out of this and we can start creating a proposal. So here, to add a new proposal or quote, I can click on add. And it will bring in all the estimation data from my takeoff. And I can also filter them by trade. Let me select all trade for now and bring all of these in. Click on OK. So all the information now is pulled into your project. And you can see we are now in this quote information screen. And this is where you can begin placing basic information for your quote. So I have some of my basic information already filled out based from my project. So it really does eliminate double entry. And I can just add a few more fields here. So here you can modify your products. So you can change quantities, change your pricing, apply your markup or margin, and even set these as taxable or not. If I scroll down a bit, I can add additional line items or manually if needed. I can even like set a default tax rate so that I can apply this to my quote. Also have added the functionality for alternates in this section. So you can just select add alternate. Let me create one for example. And I can just import my products to this area. Okay. You can even attach your site photos, even bring in your diagrams from MeasureSquare. You can also add your 3D diagrams and even your wall diagrams. So let me show you. To add that, you can just import it from your diagram. So next, I can just select the rooms that have those wall products applied. There you go. So we also have this inclusions and exclusions section. So this is based off of a library, which you can customize. So let's say if I want to add, let's say floor protection to this quote, I can just add that and now it's added here. You can also add any customer notes and also have a preset terms and conditions. So you don't have to keep typing them all the time. So once I'm happy with this code, I can click on save. And now you will see that this is our customer facing code or document. So this code we can easily customize. We can go to our display options and show which columns we want to show or hide. So if I want to hide, let's say the description, we hide the quantities or sales price, I can do that. And it will bring me this. And each of our documents are fully customizable based on a template system. So you can change them and use different templates as needed. So this applies to all our documents, not just the quote. And you'll notice that our quote is currently marked as a draft. So we can monitor the statuses of our documents. And in this case, we can email this document out to our client. So once I select that, you'll notice that the customer's email is automatically populated, and I can just now send this quote. And I have the option to attach the quote as a PDF file. Once I do send that quote, the customer will receive this email and they have the option to approve, deny, and also have an electronic signature on it. So currently it is on a sent status. And if you will hold over to your right side, you see we have this activity section where you can monitor the activity log of this specific document. So we also have the option to change the status of this document. So let's say we mark it as approved. Once you've done that, you see on your activity log that this quote has already been marked approved at this specific time. Okay, so looks like we now have the quote approved. This job is now awarded to us, and we can now get moving with managing this project. So the next step we would need to do is to order materials. So to do that, we can easily create a purchase order. If we go to our order section over here on our quote, and we can just select add here beside our purchase order. And when we select that, our PO system or purchase order system is very streamlined that it will break down the products by vendor automatically. So in this case, I can filter them by specific vendors. For this case, let me just add send a purchase order just for Milliken. And once I click on OK, I can now fill in my purchase order information. So I can just, yeah, I already have these filled up. I can add any other information such as photos, notes, my terms and conditions. And once I click on save, that's all I needed to do to create a PO. So similar to our quotes, you can email this out and send to your vendor. So email this, you'll see that our vendor email is automatically populated. You can also track the status of your documents, similar to the quote. All right. So let's just say we marked it as approved. Then we can now go back to our quote document here. So we've now been awarded the project. We've ordered material. So now let's go to our labor. So it's time to schedule that project for installation. So on our quote, we can just go back to our order section over here. So we can go to the work order section and click on add. Then we can now create a work order. So you can now filter them by trade as well. So for this example, let's say we have an installer or subcontractor that's installing carpet and wall base. So we can select these two trades to only filter out those carpet and wall based products. So let me just select all of them. We can also exclude the pricing for our material products as needed, like that. Let me click on OK. Similar to the purchase order, it will bring in all the products that I selected earlier with their quantity and pricing. What you just need to fill out here would just be your installer or subcontractor. So let's say, let me choose Mr. Austin as my installer and set a start date and end date for this schedule. So let me set it for today at, let's say, 10:30 and just end the same day at 4 p.m. So once we're happy with that, you can click on save. And now I already have this work order created. And you can also email this out to your to the relevant parties. And we can also manage the status of this document. So we've already assigned an installer for this work order. We've also had a set start time and end time. So this means the installation is now scheduled. So if we go to our installation schedules calendar, it's going to be on this left side over here. Select that. It will now bring me to my calendar where I can manage all my installations. So you can see here that for the specific project, I already have this schedule assigned to Mr. Austin. And if I select this installation, I can see the details and the associated work order for this. So let's say Mr. Austin couldn't make it that day. So we can just easily assign that to a different installer. You can just simply left click on this schedule and just drag it to a different installer. And once you do that, that work order is emailed directly to our other installer, which is Barry. And if I select this schedule, I can now open this uh, work order that we just did earlier. And you see that this work order was automatically updated to reflect the new installer. Okay, so let's say the installation went well. We can now start billing our client. Let's just go back to our quote. So the quote here will be the source for all our data. And now I can convert this quote into a bill. So similar to our other documents, we just go to our orders tab, go to invoice, select add. To pull in all those information or your products from your quote. Then when you click on OK here, and then just make any edits to your invoice, add any necessary information. And then when you click on save, I already now have this professional looking invoice. You can also customize how you want your invoice to be displayed or even change the template. Then you can email that out to your customer and track the status of your quote or invoice. So let's say I just mark this as approved. Then we can go back to our project. If we go back to our project summary, you can see that we've now been filling up this area with, let's say, our quotes, our purchase order, and our work orders. And let's say we can move this to a one stage because we're already done with this project. We can just select this stage. Let me say that this project is already one. And once I did that, this will pull in our project revenue to our analytics module. So to access our analytics, you can just go to this side, lower left side of our screen. And this module will provide powerful insights to your business performance. It will help you track your revenue, revenue loss, and analyze any trends by your owner here, by your even also with your estimators or by your market segment. So you'll see all of this data once you've set a specific won or lost date for your project in your sales pipeline. So you can also filter them by different time ranges as well. So if I want to filter them by a quarter, I can see all my numbers for that quarter. All right. So yeah, that's it for our demo. Let me just pull up my presentation. Okay. So yeah, so now you've seen MeasureSquare CRM in action. You can see how it actually simplifies your project lifecycle from lead tracking to installation management and even invoicing. So everything is streamlined in one platform and helps you save time and reduce errors. So we can open the stage to answer a few questions. And while waiting, I'd like to ask everybody one more poll question.
So Kevin, we did have one question towards the end there. Mike Ramirez wanted to see the month view of the installation schedule. Would you mind just sharing that screen one more time?
No problem. Let me just pull that up. Oh,
The installation schedule, depending how many jobs you have going on, it might make sense to view a week. You can also view it by the day or by the month. So depending how many jobs, this month view can get pretty cluttered. But if you only have a couple jobs a week, this might be the best view for you guys. And you can also just click and drag these from day to day. If you need to change the day of any of these schedules, you can just click and drag right from the month view.
thank you, James.
Any other questions here, guys? So in the coming months, we have a few things we're focusing on. One of them is going to be related to job costing and payments. We're going to start tracking accounts payable and accounts receivable data in MeasureSquare CRM. That's going to allow us to do some real job costing, which with budgeted versus actual amounts, actual sales forecasts based on a specified period of time. One of our other primary focuses for the next few months is going to be our field app. So if those of you who are familiar with Job Tracker, it's a MeasureSquare app that we have for managing what's happening on site. So we're actually creating a new version of that to be used with MeasureSquare CRM. So a brand new version of Job Tracker coming out, and we're going to make some enhancements as we're recreating this. The old version of Job Tracker will still be supported, but we're going to be releasing this new app, which will have enhanced reporting features, and it's going to feed your completion data directly into your schedule values for your monthly AIA billing. So a lot of cool stuff coming on the mobile app side. We also have our CRM mobile app, which is currently in beta. That's you can use that to tie into these CRM projects that Kevin was just showing you. So you can go on site with your mobile app, take a site photo, have that inserted directly into your CRM project. You can view all your documents. A good amount of things you can do from that mobile app. Can you subtotal labor from material from Greg? Yes, yes. Very simple to do that. We have that function by default on our proposals, Greg, where you can just provide a material and labor total. On Dennis Bosco. Oh, hey, Dennis. I used to work for a company called Sonata Group, and I know we had some relationship with you guys from Fuse, but from Dennis Bosco, what about inventory costing and PO status in total? Is this supposed to be only front facing, but the client still needs their own ERP and accounting system? Yes, so that's a good point, Dennis. Yeah, so our approach is to integrate with all accounting systems. So no, CRM does not do your accounting. Um, and part of what I just mentioned with the payments, accounts receivable, accounts payable. So essentially, we want the CRM to be the hub for all that data, and then we're going to send that data to your accounting system through an integration. So that's going to allow us to perform job costing, full spectrum job costing, full work in progress report, everything, and then just get what you need for your books and for your yearly tax reporting over to the accounting system. So that's kind of our long-term plan, which is going to come to fruition between now and the end of the year, and we'll only be going up from there. Yes, absolutely, Desiree. Yeah, I just kind of explained a little more about it while you were asking that question, but essentially, you would be able to upload your actual invoice documents, your invoices from your vendors, your invoices from your subcontractors, and you'll be able to use that data in in your CRM reporting. So you can have your vendor invoice for $1,500 where your purchase order was for $1,450, right? The CRM will recognize that $50 discrepancy, include that in your reporting, maybe give you a warning or something like that when you're off from those budgeted amounts. Um, Same thing on the subcontractor side. We'll be storing additional fees, things like dumpsters and stuff to actually work into that pricing. A little further down the line, we'll pull in payroll data so you can really work your whole company's job costing into your overhead and stuff like that. And that's going to tie in heavily with our accounting integrations. First and foremost, our most common integration is with QuickBooks. So with this accounts payable, accounts receivable implementation, getting all this data in the CRM, being able to do all the reporting you need in the CRM, this kind of raises the ceiling for what QuickBooks can do. Because most of the limitation with big companies using QuickBooks is that they don't break down the data correctly, they don't get the reporting they need. So we're actually going to handle that on the CRM side, and then pass the data that QuickBooks needs over to QuickBooks, and it would work the same way with any ERP as well. So depending what accounting system you use, that those processes are going to vary quite a bit, but we are going to accommodate all the flooring specific ERPs, our existing partners, Q Floors, CF Data, Job Runner, definitely handle all that stuff, as well as the simpler accounting systems such as QuickBooks and Xero. Mike, a mobile app for text to collect hours. You want to take that one, Kevin? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your questions here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Michael was asking about your. I believe this is the field app.
Yep.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So all that's going to be included in the app that we're creating right now, Mike. Definitely a good recommendation.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for all the questions. And yeah, if you have any other questions that you want to ask, you are more than welcome to email us at crmteam@MeasureSquare.com, or you can also call our support line 626-683-9188. And you do scan the QR codes over here so you can learn more about the CRM. You can also check out our upcoming webinars for this year, and you can also join our Facebook user group. So joining this group will give you direct access to a community of flooring professionals where you can share tips, ask any questions, and even stay up to date on the latest software features. So actually, it's the first perfect space for you to connect and learn and grow alongside your other users. Yeah. Yep. And with that, that concludes today's webinar, and we appreciate your time today. And we'll see you in the next one.